Hey there, I'd like to show you what cycling is like in the Balaton region of Hungary. If you watch my videos, you probably have noticed that I'm using my mountain bike as the main means for getting to places which are, let's say, not more than 50 kilometers away from where I stay. And to show you the different options to get around with your bike, I have mounted the camera on the handlebar of my mountain bike. And basically you have three options. The first one, using a bike road. This will be the first one I'm gonna show you. Second option, using the road, any country road, which is also used by cars. And the third option will be using other roads and trails, hiking trails, things like that. Now, each of the three options has their pro and cons. And of course, in many cases, you won't have any option because there is only one way to get there. But let me show you something. So, I am quite close to the bike road, which goes all around Lake Balaton. So there are different qualities of bike roads in Hungary. There are very good ones. But I have to say that this bike road, which is actually one of the most popular, is not so good, and you will see why in a moment. You can see quite a lot of cyclists going around here. So let's start. Okay, I'm on the bike road right now, and you can see two things. First of all, it is next to the country road number 71, which also goes along Lake Balaton. So that's why, especially in the main season, you always have the noise of cars and motorcycles going around. The next thing you can probably see is that this bike road is not really wide. It's maybe something between 1 meter 20 and 1 meter 50, but the quality is not that great, and in many cases there is only 1 meter of width that can actually be used, and this is definitely not enough if you have oncoming traffic as well. Okay, so here comes quite an interesting part. This is actually new with this line in the middle. I think it has been renewed about a year ago or even less, and before this part had very bad quality, and so it was absolutely impossible to ride normally. Okay, that's the bike road. I would say the thing that annoys me the most is the noise you have all the time from the cars. Another thing worth mentioning about this bike road is it's not on the same side of the country road all the time, so you have to cross the road quite often, every few kilometers, there is such a crossing, and you take and then you can continue on the other side. Before coming to option 2, the country road, let me make some general remarks about cycling in Hungary, the history of it and so on. So cycling has become popular again during the last maybe 10 to 20 years. Before that, cycling was considered something for kids. So if at this time you would see a grown-up person on a bicycle, it probably could mean one of 3 things. Number 1, the person is just too poor to afford a motorcycle or a car. Number 2, the person is too stupid to get a driving license. And number 3, the person is drunk, probably even an alcoholic, and therefore cannot drive. And probably all the 3. So when you see something, some person on a bicycle, many car drivers felt superior to these persons because they have the money, they are not alcoholics, they are intelligent enough to make the driver license. So this has changed, of course, during the last years, but the mindset of car drivers being superior to cyclists is still in the heads of some people. So it gets less and less, but you still find this type of people, and that's the main reason why cycling on a country road, which is also used by cars, is probably not for everyone. Definitely not for the faint at heart. And of course it depends on the amount of traffic. There are also some country roads in Hungary where cycling is not allowed at all. There are signs for it. And as a rule of thumb, you can say that if the number of the road has only 1 digit, like 8 or something like that, cycling will not be allowed, because these roads actually, they basically perform the same role as highways or even autobahns in Germany. And if the road number has more than 1 digit, like 2 or 3, so the 3-digit roads are the small ones, normally you are allowed to cycle on this road. So, okay, so let's see. So currently it's still the main season, so there will be quite a lot of traffic, and I will continue cycling a little bit on a country road. So, to show you what it's like. I don't want to make anyone angry. Okay, that was nice. So what's really important is you shouldn't drive too much on the right side of the road. Always keep at least 1 meter, or better 1.50 meter distance to the side of the street, just to make clear to every car driver that he or she has to overtake you, which means go to the middle of the road, or even to the other lane, and not just pass by. Because some drivers who still have that mindset of superiority will just pass by, even if there is oncoming traffic. Okay. Okay, up to now, all the drivers were behaving correctly. You also need to watch out for cars driving on the other side and overtake some other small cars, so that or slow cars, so they get onto your lane. So you always have to be careful on these country roads. This is still quite okay, so there is not too much going on. Road quality is not always that great, but that's okay for a mountain bike. By the way, this is Kövishkal, the town with 350 inhabitants and 5 restaurants. Kind of roads you can use for cycling are the ones which are mainly used for agriculture. So roads like this one you can see here. You can see these tractor trails. They have the purpose to allow the farmer to get to his fields with a tractor, and they are okay to use, especially if you have a mountain bike. The only problem is that sometimes they just end in the middle of nowhere, because at the last field, which is owned by the farmer, the road just stops, just like that, and it won't get you anywhere. But still, in many cases, they are quite a good option. And of course, there is no car or motorcycle traffic here. It's nice and quiet. So everything you hear are the birds and insects. The final type of road you can use for cycling is the hiking trail. You can always recognize hiking trails by these signs on the trees. Just carrying my bike. Okay, so the main advantage of the hiking trail over these agricultural roads is that the hiking trail does not end somewhere in the middle of nowhere. So when you are on a hiking trail, you can be pretty sure that it will get you somewhere. There are some exceptions, because sometimes people think that the hiking trail crosses their property and they put a fence there and so on. It happened to me, but it's illegal and it's the exception. So I would recommend you to get a map with hiking trails on it. I still have not found a way to view hiking trails on Google Maps or something like that, or on OpenStreetMap. So I really recommend you to get a map, paper map, old-fashioned one with hiking trails on it. Now, of course, a hiking trail is not a bike road, it's a hiking trail. And this means that the quality always suitable for cycling. In most cases it's okay with a mountain bike, but even there, sometimes, especially if you go up the hills, there are some steps and rocks and things like that on the hiking trail, so it will not be possible to cycle there, even with a mountain bike. So that means you might have to carry your bike in your hands for a while. Another thing about hiking trails which you should be careful about is there might be some plants with thorns growing on the trail, which might do damage to your tires. So you have to be very careful here, especially on a grassland like this. So I think we're almost at the end of the video. I hope I could give you some useful information about cycling in the Balaton region of Hungary. So I think I'm gonna add some time-lapse shot to the video. Okay, there's one way of road I forgot, and that's pedestrian areas. That's it for today. Hope to see you next time. Bye bye.